Hello, it's Lisa, and today we're gonna create a couple cards utilizing MFT Santa Elves. I believe this set is still available with MFT Shop, but you'll have to take a look. Nonetheless, it does come with dies that you can buy separately. The only issue that I have with these dies is if you stamp your image and then you blindly try to line this up to your image, it's inevitable. You're gonna cut a portion of the image off. That being said, this is how I do or avoid that issue. So on this paper, I have previously die cut the stamps or die cut the images. This way, one, you can strategically place your stamp image right inside the die cut. So that way you avoid the option or the chance of ruining your image. So what I do is I use Memento Tuxedo Black. It is Copic friendly, and we will be utilizing Copics today. So I want to go ahead and stamp the images, apply light pressure because I don't want a really thick line to them. The benefit to a stamping apparatus, whether it be a Misty, a Tim Holtz, Stampin' Up, We Are Memory Keepers, you can re-stamp the image to get a good impression. And I believe we're looking pretty good. A lot of people will use a stamp chamois to clean the stamps off. I use just some baby wipes. I get it at Dollar Tree, or I should say the $1.25 store now. I wipe them off and let them dry before I put them in the package. So we have, like I said, the images. I previously taped them down so they wouldn't shift. But you can see how each image has clearly a white edge to them. And had I taken the die to stamp it, I could have, the die to cut it out. I could have easily have cut his ear off or perhaps the bell off, whatever. So I'm gonna remove the die cuts here. So we'll be able to color. All right, so we have our three little elves and a Christmas tree. So what I would like to do is begin with coloring using Copics. Now, I just started doing Copics once COVID hit. It's kind of like a learning curve. You have to just put forth effort. I learned a lot by watching YouTube videos, and I'll show you what I tend to do. Somebody may do something different, but nonetheless, this is how I do it. So the colors I'm using, E04, E11, and E00. So the E04 is my darker color. I'm gonna go ahead, do a shadow under his brim. I kind of go ahead, shadow around the collar, and obviously the bottom of his ears. On his hand, I just gradually apply the shadow, okay? I like to emphasize the nose, so I put a little darker around his nose. I then take E11. I follow that E4 line. Essentially what I'm doing is I am blending that E4 out a little. Don't worry if you encroach on the brim of the hat. What we can do with that is use the blender. Copic has a blender that you can utilize by pushing the ink back to where you would like it to go. So I'm gonna finish it off with E00. Make sure I get all the white spots. And we're just making sure it all blends. All right, now I believe I'm gonna do a green for his shirt. So I am going to do YG17, YG06, and YG03. Sometimes I'll pull a yellow in like YG21. It just depends on the look that you're trying to achieve. So a lot of people go light to dark, dark to light. Depending on how I would like to start, I usually, depending on the image, go dark. So this is where my shadows are gonna be, okay? So I wanna make sure his belly looks a little full. So I am gonna go ahead and create that line with a little bit of white showing. The reason why I'm doing that is to make him look more rounder. So now I'm taking my E06. I'm gonna follow the same lines that I did the YG17. And essentially what we're doing, we're just blending out that YG17. One nice thing about Copic markers is they lay on top of each other. That being said, if you think, ooh, that's a little dark, that's okay. You can either apply, after it dries a little, you can apply a lighter coat and that will lighten it, or you can even do highlights with a gel pen. So as you can see, I'm just making sure it blends. So he kind of looks more rounder because this side of him is a little darker, okay? So I think I want the same color hat. So again, darker color, YG17. I'm gonna follow the brim of his stocking cap, and this is gonna be darker here because it lays underneath, okay? Now, there is just a little bump there. I'm gonna create a shadow here. And that shadow is gonna look like a fold in the fabric. Next, YG06, same thing. We're gonna follow that YG17 out. Not gonna take the whole cap because we do want a little bit of highlight with the YG03. Take the YG03, and just fill it in. Now, if your blend is not even, you're not happy with it, you think, oh wow, this is pretty dark here, you can go over it to maybe see if you can blend a little bit more. I tend to do that with the light color to avoid it looking splotchy, okay? So we have the hat done, the body done, his pants. Let's go ahead and do a traditional red pant. I'm gonna do R89, R27, and R24. The 89 is the darkest. So you want to go sparingly because you don't want his whole pants to be consumed with the darker color. So underneath his waistband, the middle thighs, and up against his little booties would be darker. Gonna take the 89 to 27, do the same thing. We're gonna just follow that 89 to blend it out. And we're gonna finish it off with the lighter color, R24. And that's how we create his pants. Now, you can do a couple things. You could potentially use a white gel pen to make it look more candy cane-ish for his leggings. I'm just gonna stick with the red because I think it's just more appealing to the eye. So the bulb, I would like to incorporate the red into the bulb. So I am going to still stay with the R89. I'm going to pull the R27 and I'm going to pull R29 in the mix. So let's go ahead. We're going to start. We're going to create a circle or a half circle with the darker. That makes it look rounder if you keep it away from the edge of the image. R29, gonna follow that, gonna move it around so it blends nicely. And then follow it up with R27. All right, so